Welcome back, you're watching Tefili Space, and here are the top 5 space news picks for the week.
At number 5 this week, NASA's InSight gets ready to launch. NASA's next Mars lander is in the final phase of preparation. The InSight mission, which stands for Interior Exploration Using Seismic Investigations, Geodesy, and Heat Transport, is a robotic lander designed to study the interior and subsurfaces of Mars. It was due to launch in 2016 but was put on hold due to a failure on one of its instruments. NASA and Lockheed Martin have fixed this problem, and the lander has passed its final pre-flight test. It is ready to be packaged and shipped to California's Vandenberg Air Force Base. This will become the first interplanetary mission ever to launch from that site. InSight's mission is to place a seismometer and a heat transfer probe onto the surface of Mars to study the planet's early geological evolution. This could bring new understanding of the solar system's terrestrial planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. At number 4, NASA takes the farthest ever image in space, thanks to New Horizons. These pictures were captured 3.79 billion miles from Earth. That's about 6 billion kilometers. This breaks Voyager's 1 record when it took the image of the pale blue dot. If you're not familiar with the pale blue dot, check out the link below. Carl Sagan captures the essence of this image beautifully. These new pictures show objects in the Kuiper Belt, which is a donut-shaped ring that surrounds our solar system and is likely full of comets, icy dwarf planets, and asteroids. New Horizons became the first to fly over Pluto back in 2015, and it is the first to explore the Kuiper Belt. It plans to observe around 2 other dozen objects in the Kuiper Belt. The next mysterious object that New Horizons will encounter will be on January 1st, 2019. It's about 1 billion miles from Pluto. Number 3. UAE launches fund for space research. After the first successful deployment of the country's CubeSat, the UAE is looking again to broaden its reach in space. The Space Settlement Challenge will finance new ideas and business models for living and working in space. It is made up of 3 categories. The first, which revolves around space settlement, aims to find and develop locations in space that could support a sustainable settlement and accommodate at least 100 people. The second category is about terraforming and space ecology. It looks into creating livable and long-term environments near the Moon, Mars, asteroids, and other orbital habitats. The third and final category is about economics, business models, and governance. The UAE wants to cultivate business plans for economics and identify private sector partners interested in conducting commercial activities in space. Number 2. Winter Olympics from space. NASA is teaming up with 20 other agencies from 11 different countries to measure the quantity and type of snow falling on the slopes. The project is named Ice Pop, and it is led by the Korean Meteorological Administration. NASA and its international team is studying how well researchers can measure snow from the ground and space to provide better data for snowstorm predictions. NASA's observations and snow forecasts will be made at 16 different Olympic event venues, then relayed to Olympic officials to help them account for approaching weather. And at number 1 this week, Falcon Heavy launches. No one should be surprised about this. This was one of the most anticipated launches of the decade. Elon Musk first unveiled the Falcon Heavy back in 2011 and said it would fly in 2013. Well, 7 years later, SpaceX finally delivers. The Falcon Heavy is a game changer. It's a huge step forward for the space industry. Its first stage is composed of 3 Falcon 9 engine cores, whose 27 Merlin engines together generate more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. Only the Saturn V rocket, which took astronauts to the moon, delivered more payload to orbit. Since this was a test flight, the payload did not matter. While most space agencies in the past sent up chunks of metal or a block of cheese, SpaceX wanted to be a little bit different. Elon Musk chose to send up his $250,000 Midnight Cherry Tesla Roadster. The overall launch of the rocket was a success. Watching the 2 booster rockets touching down in sync was incredible. Then came the live images of Starman and his Tesla floating around in space with Earth as a backdrop. My jaw dropped. It was one of the most amazing things I have ever seen. You can even see Starman at night amongst the stars, floating around Earth. Altogether, everything about this launch was historic, from liftoff to the 2 booster rockets landing in sync to Starman floating around space in his Tesla. It was the most memorable launch for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people too. The world has not seen a launch like this in a long time.
Well, as you can see, it's been a historical week. I hope you guys enjoyed that launch as much as I did. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you.